In the 5th grade, we're going to talk about how we're going to use the real world standards in with the academic standards. In the academic standards, it talks about the basics of math, language, social studies, and science. And in the real world standards, it talks about how you can really use what you learn in with the academic standards. So we as teachers have to find ways to make our academic standards into where the kids will actually say, how am I going to use this in the real world? And we can say, this is how. This is why you need to know this, because you actually will use it in the real world. So in math, we can teach the kids how to measure. Measuring leads to building things. So if you want to build something or if you want to do something, you need to know how long or how big it needs to be. Also in math, we can teach kids about baking or cooking, so you can measure and know how much of everything you need to put in so your ingredients turn out and your recipe will turn out the right way. Also, in math, we can teach about money. Money management is a big thing. For money management, we have Junior Achievement come in, and what they will do is they'll talk to the students on their level about how they can manage their money, how their finances work, how banks work, and actually how to set up a budget and how to save money. So through that, the Junior Achievement are going to give our students references and materials that they need that they can use to do a budget and how they can set up finances and savings and things like that. So another thing that we can do is we can actually visit a bank. If we can't physically go to the bank, we can always do a virtual tour with a banker. So that banker can show us how the money is, and he can also answer questions from students about how the finances work, what the interest rates are, what that even means, how do we get a loan, what does that mean, what's the difference between a debit card and a credit card, or even cash and check. A lot of the students don't understand that, but if we have someone in an authoritative position tell them about that, then they'll look at it a lot different and they'll actually gain some knowledge for the real world. Language arts. In the language arts standards, it talks a lot about writing, reading, and listening and speaking. Listening and speaking are a big skill. Even as adults, we sometimes struggle with. So those skills can be enhanced in the fact that we can teach kids how to talk to each other. They can talk with peers about things in the classroom. They can also talk in groups and also getting in front of people and speaking about something that they've learned. So that's something that we can have students talk about. Also, career days. Career days are going to get a different genre of people to come in from different levels of academic standards. And then that way they can see that people from all situations can actually get in front of people and talk. And the students are going to do book reports about maybe a career that they want to do. Then they're going to get up in front of the class and tell about that career and why they think they can do it and what are some of the necessities that they need to get there. And then as a class, we can figure out if that student actually has followed the directions, if they actually have a guide map of where they're going to go, how they're going to get there, and things like that. Another standard is the social studies. Social studies is just the history of our world, but it also talks about an aspect of that social. How do the students interact with each other, even of different cultures? So in the school that I'm at, the cultures vary from Caucasian to Burmese and Korean, and those students speak a different language because they are immigrants or refugees that have came over to our world. Some don't even speak any English. So for us to be able to interact with them, that's amazing. And the students need to have that aspect of interacting with different people from different cultures and then their backgrounds, and they can actually talk with them. And then that's part of the social studies standards, is to migrate into different cultures and to learn different things about them. So we can have our refugee students actually do a day for them to teach us things from their culture and things that they do there. Another standard is science. Science is the old standards say that they're hands-on, minds-on, but it's kind of turned to science inquiry, meaning that they want the students to actually dig in and figure out what's going on in there, not just to build it and say it looks pretty. They want them to know how it works and what in there makes that mechanism work. So the students are going to do many tours at the Science Museum. They're also going to do some hands-on of building their own solar system, their Earth layers. They're going to talk about the different layers of the Earth system. And then we're going to get a meteorologist to come in and talk to us about the weather. And then he, he'll have different demonstrations and things like that to show the kids. Another standard that I looked at was the health education standards. This was to talk about the students being healthy, either physically and mentally, how their diet is and how their exercise and things like that. So my thought was that we would go to the health park here in Owensboro, and that facility offers a gym, a dietitian, doctors, and physical trainers that are there. They can actually work with the kids and tell them what they need to eat, where they need to work out at, what muscles are good to work out for them, and their daily schedule that they need to be on for training. So throughout all this, the students are going to learn many different things and how the things in the classroom actually are relevant to the things of their daily living and that they can use on day-to-day life.